How to be a successful leader. Here are 5 things you should know about effective leadership based on empirical research and established leadership theories. Coming right up. First, how to define a successful leader. Before we talk about how to be a successful leader, let's be clear about what is a successful leader. How do we measure the success of a leader in the business and work context? Is being loved by the employees the measurement of how successful a leader is? Or is the leader's self-perception of how good they are the measurement? Nah. In fact, most organizations rely on organizational performance measures such as productivity and profitability figures to judge leader performance while taking into account HR indicators such as employee satisfaction and commitment. But the general idea here is that the success of the leader is judged by how effective they are in stimulating and delivering performance of the business unit for which they are responsible. That's why they're there. Second, you are born to be a leader or you are not is false. The notion that someone is born to be a leader or they aren't represents the trait theories of leadership. The trait theories of leadership claim that the effectiveness and success of a leader depend on their individual dispositional traits. And because an individual's dispositional traits are generally stable across time, so when it comes to being a leader, you've either got it or you haven't. Now, there are several problems with this theory. Without talking about all the empirical research and all the meta-analyses on how personality traits actually do not necessarily predict leader effectiveness, just based on common sense, you can certainly think of highly successful leaders who are extroverted, but you can also think of successful leaders who are quite introverted. Some successful leaders are very nice and agreeable, while others can be ruthless and nasty. So, the trait theories of leadership have generally been considered as important, but rather outdated. Instead, people have realized that leadership is something that one can learn, and that brings us to the behavioral theories of leadership. The behavioral theories of leadership claim that the effectiveness of a leader is dependent on how they behave. In other words, one can learn or be trained to be an effective leader. The typical behaviors associated with effective leadership are being highly organized, being able to set goals for the team, being respectful, being persuasive, having integrity, having interest in others, supporting others, taking responsibility for their own as well as their team's mistakes, being friendly and approachable, being responsive to followers' needs, so on and so forth, and the list goes on. But the results of empirical research do not fully support the behavioral theories of leadership. And this is because different followers have different preferences, and these preferences can differ a great deal across different cultural backgrounds, different industries, different geographical locations, and sometimes even across different organizations. In other words, one particular set of leader behaviors may be very effective here in this organization, but it might not work somewhere else. Why? Because leadership effectiveness can be contingent upon the situation. The contingency theories of leadership essentially say that whether a leader is effective or not is contingent upon the specific situation in which the leader functions. There are different models representing the contingency theories of leadership, such as situational leadership, the path-goal theory of leadership, and various leadership styles. But the most well-known and best empirically supported contingency theory is the Fiedler model. Fiedler says the effectiveness of leadership is contingent upon 3 key elements unique to the situation: leader-member exchange quality, degree of task structure, and leader's positional power. For the leader to be effective in delivering team performance, the leader needs to be able to adjust and even alternate between being tough or task-oriented and being soft or relationship-oriented. For example, if leader-member exchange quality is poor, task structure is high, and leader's positional power is strong, then a task-oriented, directive leadership style is expected to lead to superior work performance by the team. However, when leader-member exchange is good, task structure is low, and leader position power is weak, then a relationship-oriented, supportive leadership style would result in greater team performance. To date, the Fiedler model received the best empirical support compared to other major contingency models. But regardless which contingency theory of leadership you read or practice, what is important and what has been made clear by the contingency theories of leadership is that the success of a leader is contingent and dependent upon their employees to a large extent. If we Google how to be a successful leader, we see articles about what the leader must do and what qualities the leader must have. While these are very interesting and important articles to read, but they tend to leave out the situation and the followers. Some of these articles even still subscribe to the trait theories of of leadership which are known to be rather outdated and low in validity. So the last thing I'm going to emphasize on in this video is that effective leadership is dyadic. It is not only about the leader, it is also very much about the followers. And this reminds me of a line from the movie K-19 in which Harrison Ford was addressing his crew for the first time. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "You have been given the honor of being the crew of this boat, and I've been given the honor to be your captain. And there is one thing you must remember. Without me, you are nothing." And then, after a long pause, he said, "And without you, I am nothing. Much is expected of us. We will not fail." Okay, eventually they failed, but you know, it's a disaster movie, so what do you expect? But Captain Vostrikov understood that leadership is a dyadic concept. It is a two-way street. It is not only about the leader, it is also about the followers. So, in sum, in this video we looked at what is a successful leader, the trait theories of leadership, the behavioral theories of leadership, the contingency theories of leadership, and the dyadic nature of leader-follower relation. Alright, I'm gonna end this video with 3 calls to action. First, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so that you will never miss any future videos that I make. And 2, if you haven't seen the movie K-19, you really should watch it. It's very nice. I really liked it. And 3, if you feel like it, please comment below about what you think of the 3 main categories of leadership theories. And you can also suggest topics for my future videos. As usual, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.